Vishnupad Paramhansha Paribrajakacaryo Ashtottara Shatushri Srimad Abhay Charanara Bindu Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Go Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Shri Mathura Dham ki jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Jamuna Mai ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Tulasi Maharani ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shamaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaurango. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanang Namaskritya Naran Chaiva Narottamam Deving Sarasating Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, Chapter 2, Hiranyakashipu, King of the Demons. Text 32 onwards. 32, 33 don't have any purport, so I'll just read them through and then we'll go to 34 that has a purport. Rudatya uccair dayitāṅghri-paṅkajaṁ siñcantya asraiḥ kuca-kuṅkumā-aruṇaiḥ visrasta-keśābharaṇāḥ śucaṁ nṛṇāṁ sṛjantya ākrandanayā vilepire. As the queens loudly cried, their tears glided down their breasts, becoming reddened by kumkum powder, and fell upon the lotus feet of their husband. Their hair became disarrayed, their ornaments fell, and in a way that evoked sympathy from the hearts of others, the queens began lamenting their husband's death. Text 33. Aho bidhatra karunena nah prabho bhavan pranita rigago charang dasham ushi naranam oshid brittidah pura krito dhuna jena śucaṁ vibardhanaha. O Lord, you have now been removed by cruel providence to a state beyond our sight. You had previously sustained the livelihood of the inhabitants of Ushinara, and thus they were happy, but your condition now is the cause of their unhappiness. Text 34. Taya Kritagnena Bayang Mahipate kathang vina syama surittamena te tatranuyanam tava vira padayo shushrusatinam disha yatra jashashi taya kritagyena vayam mahipate kathang vinashyam surittamena te tatranuyanam tava vira padayo shushrusatinam disha yatra jashashi taya kritagyena vayam mahipate kathang vinashyam surittamena te tatranuyanam tava vira padayo shushrusatinam disha yatra jashashi taya kritagyena vayam mahipate kathang vinashyam surittamena te tatranuyanam tava vira padayo shushrusatinam disha yatra jashyasi. Tvaya, you, kritagyena, a most grateful personality. Vayam, we, mahipate, O king, katham, how, vina, without, shyama, shall exist, surittamena, the best of our friends, te, of you, tatra, there, anuyanam, the following, tava, of you, vira, O hero, padayo, of the lotus feet, shushrusatinam, of those engaged in the service, disha, please order, yatra, where, yasashi, you will go. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. O King, O Hero, you are a very grateful husband and the most sincere friend of all of us. How shall we exist without you? O Hero, wherever you are going, please direct us there so that we may follow in your footsteps and engage again in your service. Let us go along with you. Please repeat after me. O King, O Hero, you are a very grateful husband and the most sincere friend of all of us. How shall we exist without you? O Hero, wherever you are going, please direct us there so that we may follow in your footsteps and engage again in your service. Let us go along with you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Formerly, a Kshatriya king was generally the husband of many wives, And after the death of the king, especially in the battlefield, all the queens would agree to accept Sahamarana, dying with the husband who was their life. When Pandu Maharaj, the father of the Pandavas, died, his two wives, namely the mother of Yudhishthir, Bhima and Arjun, and the mother of Nakula and Sahadev, were both ready to die in the fire with their husband. Later, after a compromise was arranged, Kunti stayed alive to take care of the children, and the other wife, Madri, was allowed to die with her husband. This system of Saha Marana continued in India even until the time of British rule. But later it was discouraged, since the attitude of the wives gradually changed with the advancement of Kali Yuga. Thus the system of Saha Marana has practically been abolished. Nevertheless, within the past 50 years, I have seen the wife of a medical practitioner voluntarily accept death immediately when her husband died. But the husband and wife were taken in procession in the mourning cart. Such intense love of a chaste wife for the husband is a special case. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayham Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Taya kritagyena vayang mahipate kathang vinashyama suritamenate tatranuyanang tabubira padayo shushushatinang dishajatra jasasi. O king, O hero, you are a very grateful husband and the most sincere friend of all of us. How shall we exist without you? O hero, wherever you are going, please direct us there, so that we may follow in your footsteps and engage again in your service. Let us go along with you. So, Hiranyaksha was killed by Varahadev. These two sons of Diti were the first demons. Because they were sons of Diti, they were known as daitas. Diti's sons were daitas and Aditi's sons were adityas. Diti's sons became demon and Aditi's sons became demigods. The two wives of the same husband. Actually, Kashyapa Muni was married to many wives, and from him these different living entities appeared. From Diti came Daitas, from Aditi came Adityas or demigods headed by sun god and Indra. And from Kadru came the snakes. From Vinata came the birds headed by Garuda and Aruna. So this is how we get the very clear understanding how creation actually started. So anyway, this Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha became two very powerful personalities. And they derived great pleasure fighting and killing. So that is the demoniac nature. They always want to fight just for the sake of it. And that's how they want to establish their power. The material nature, the living entities, the conditioned souls, was to dominate, exerting their power. And those days they used to establish their power with their strength. So Hiranyaksha was both extremely powerful. They're gigantic. They're giants actually, gigantic personalities, and they're fighting all the time. They've defeated all the demigods. And Hiranyaksha, his eyes were fixed on gold. In his eyes, all he is seeing gold. Where is gold? Where is gold? Where is money? Where's money? And he acquired so much gold. And so he was challenging different demigods, defeated many demigods. Then he came to Varun Dev, challenged him. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Prahlad Nrsimhadev ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. So he challenged Varun Dev. This is the background of this topic. Varun Dev told him, "Look, I became old. I am no match for you." He realized that he is not going to be able to fight with him. So he said, "By defeating me, you won't really get any pleasure. So actually, you should fight with someone who is equal to you or more powerful than you." So far he never came across anyone more powerful. So he asked, "More powerful? So who is that?" He said, "Well, there is this personality called Hari. So maybe you can fight with him and see who is more powerful." Where is Hari? It's very difficult to find him. But when one is sincere in his search, then he can find Hari. So then Hiranyaksha saw that a very strange creature who looks like a boar, a pig, emerging with Earth planet, actually the personified Mother Earth, Dharani, Bashoti Darshana Shikhare, Dharani Tabo Lagna, Shoshini Kaling Kalonko Kaleva Nimagna, Keśa Shukara Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hari. He had Mother Earth resting on his tusks. The boars have two teeth coming up from the lower jaw. So Mother Earth was placed there. And she became dirty because she fell on the lower planetary system, lower region. Because the balance of the planet is maintained by the gold in the planet. So Hiranyaksha took away all the gold, and as a result of that, Earth lost the balance or the ability to stay on the orbit, and she fell into the lower region. And so Varahadev came, Krishna came as Shukara Rupa, Varahadev, and he was lifting Mother Earth from the lower region. So Hiranyaksha became very upset. Who are you trying to interfere in my arrangement? So he challenged him to fight, and so Varahadev placed Mother Earth on the orbit, and he started to fight. Hiranyaksha had a mace, a club in his hand, and Varahadev also called his club. He has conch, lotus, disc, and club. So, because Hiranyaksha had club, he said, okay, I'll fight with club. So they fought. Now we have to remember who are these Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha? Joy and Vijay. And what did Joy Vijay want? Joy and Vijay wanted to give a good fight to the Lord, to make him experience Viraras, the mellow of chivalry that is experienced by fighting. So so they wished. In Vaikuntha no one can give him that mellow, so I wish we could actually give him the pleasure out of fighting. And as a result of that, in order to fight with the Lord, they came as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So there was a terrible battle between them. Now, the demigods were so much distressed by Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. They were excited that a big fight is taking place, and Hari is fighting with Hiranyaksha. So they were watching, and they were expecting that he would kill this demon. But during that fight, all of a sudden, Hiranyaksha struck the Lord so hard in his mace that his mace went. He fell out of his hand. So demigods started to cry, "My Lord, please finish him off. Our life here is almost in our throat. It's about to leave our body in anxiety. So please don't cause any more anxiety to us. Please do something about it." So then what did Varahadev do? With his left hand, he just struck Hiranyaksha. Just one slap. And Hiranyaksha's body kept on rolling, life had left his body, fell. So Hiranyaksha was dead. So the news reached his family. His mother, Diti, his wives, they were crying. His sons were crying. So that time Hiranyakashipu started to give them the transcendental knowledge, the demon. So this way we can see that in the Vedic time, even the demons were so well conversant with spiritual science. Only thing is that they couldn't accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They accepted another reality, another nature. They accepted the existence of the soul. They accepted the transmigration of the soul, the cycle of birth and death. Death is not the end. Death is the end of the body, but the soul continues to exist. Soul never dies. So these instructions that Hiranyakashipu is giving to his nephews is very, very uplifting actually. You can see there, well, it looks like some devotee speaking. And so then, while instructing about the immortality of the soul and the nature of birth and death, Hiranyakashipu giving the example. A beautiful example. Ushinar, the king of Ushinar, Sujagya. The story of Sujagya, the king. And he was fighting a battle. And in that battle, he died. So his dead body was brought to the palace, and his wives are crying. So that is the description. This is how the wives are crying. So I'll briefly tell what happened after that also, and then I'll go to the purport, today's verse. So the wives are crying. So Jamadutas came to take him, his subtle body, the soul in the subtle body, to Jamalaya, the abode of Jamraj, for judgment. And they could not, because his wife's love and affection was binding him so much that Jamadutas couldn't actually penetrate that barrier. So then they went to Jamraj and told him that, look, this is the case, what to do. Then Jamraj came as a little boy. And he came and asked these women, why are you all crying? Oh, our husband died. No, our husband left us. Left you? Isn't that your husband? Still lying there. Why are you saying that he left? No, that's his body. But he is gone. Oh, he is gone. Did you ever see him? Who is gone? Then it occurred to them, no. The real person that he was, they never got to see him. Although they're crying, please take us with you and so forth. But they didn't really know the person. But at least they had deep love for that woman, for that man. So here we can see. They're crying and so this is how Jamraj actually gave them the knowledge. That death is simply a changing of body. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains it very nicely. Through which verse? Very good. Dehi noshmin jatha dehe kaumaram jovanam jara tatha dehantara praptir and dhirastatra namuyhati. It's a matter of just changing our body. The body is changing. From childhood to youth to old age, the body is changing. But in spite of the change of the body, the person remains the same. So since, due to the change of the body, doesn't the person become affected, while leaving the body also the person doesn't become affected. Therefore, dhira satrana muhyati, those who are situated in knowledge, those who are really wise, they do not become bewildered, they do not become overwhelmed with this matter of changing of body. So here we can see that little boy, through this little boy they got this knowledge. Oh, yeah, that's true. Like the person that we knew was the body. The body is lying here, but the real person that he was, who made the body alive, we didn't get to know him. So, through this beautiful example, Hiranyakashipu pacified his nephews and also the wife of Hiranyaksha and his mother, Diti. Now this purport actually is leading us to a very, very important point that Prabhupada addressed in the purport. Here the wives are saying that please take us with you. Husband has left and saying that So they were prepared to go with him. And in Vedic culture, that was not always, but often that was the case. When the husband died, the wife also went along with the husband. That is called sahomaran, dying together with the husband. And then Prabhupada is pointing out that custom was very prevalent. And of course here we have to remember it was not a forced thing. And there had been many instances. Like in Rajasthan, there is a queen, Rani Sati, Jhunjhunu. She became worshipped. She is worshipped because she became a sati. Went along with her husband. Similarly, many Rajput queens, not only the queens, the whole, like when Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj, and all the women, just they lit up huge fire and they all gave up their bodies. How could one do such a thing? Because they had a very clear understanding that they were not this body. The purpose of life was something higher than that. Like, of course, in Rajasthan, in the queens left their bodies like that because they didn't want to be molested by these Muslims. They knew what they will do when they came. And so better to give up our body than lose our chastity. So there, Prabhupada gives another example. This is another wonderful example. Pandu died. King Pandu died. He was actually in Badarikashram. He was cursed that he was cursed by a Brahmana that if he ever united with his wife, then he would die. And it was a springtime. Springtime actually arouses the desires for lusty desires. And Pandu and Madri, Pandu was with Madri, his second queen, and it was actually the arrangement of providence, became so attracted. Madri tried to resist him, and he forced, and he died. So then both Kunti and Madri both wanted to become sati, follow her husband. So Kunti's claim was that I am the principal wife, I am the first wife. Therefore, I have the right to go. Madri said, no, it is because of me he died. He died with his desires unfulfilled with me. Therefore, I should go. So here is a competition going on. Who is going to go with the husband? One of them had to stay because the children, their sons were all young, little boys. So they need a mother. So one of them had to stay. They resolved that one of us has to stay. But who will go and who will stay? Kunti claimed that I have the right to go because I am the senior. And Madri said that no, it's because of me he left his body, he died. He died with unfulfilled desires, so I should go with him. And then finally Madri won. On what ground? You have 3 sons, I have 2. So you have greater responsibility towards the children, so you should stay. And Madri went. Prabhupada is mentioning that during the British time they actually stopped, the British actually stopped this. those days the British were mostly, they were actually established in Bengal. And there used to be instances like that. But the thing is that it became very, very ghastly. You see, previously it was voluntary. If only if the wife wanted to follow the husband, then only she was given the opportunity. But what happened? Wife is not willing to die, but they are forcing that woman to go. And especially the Brahminical families, like it was there. Here we have to remember, in the age of Kali, some demons actually took birth in Brahminical family, and they destroyed the Vedic culture. Rakshasa kalimashritta jayante brahmajonishu. The Rakshasas were born in Brahmana families, and they destroyed by introducing these unnatural practices. And there was an Englishman who is a very senior government officer. His name was Sir William Carey. So William Carey was very instrumental in stopping the sati procedure in Bengal. And so, it was a very ghastly practice. Sometimes the Brahmanas, a 70-year-old man would get married to a 13-year-old girl. So for how long a 70-year-old man lived? Maybe 4 or 5 years. And he would die at the age of 75. Now the girl is only 18 years old. And she is forced to die with the husband. And what they would do, like she would be crying. No, I don't want to. And they would tie her up by hands and feet. And so that one cannot hear the cry, they would play drum, dhak, just to cover the cry of that woman. It's very ghastly. And then they would throw her in the funeral pyre. But Prabhupada is speaking about... Now before that, let me give another example. It was actually in Rajasthan that by the time British have actually established themselves all over India, and they are trying to stop this process all over. And there was a woman, maybe from the royal family, some royal family, not a king, but from that family. And so they wanted to stop the woman whose husband died from becoming a sati. And she actually mentioned that the way my heart is burning due to the separation from my husband, that becoming free from this body is going to be a relief. It is not going to be a painful affair, it's going to be a relief. And in order to prove that, she put her hand in fire. The hand was burning and there was no feeling of pain in her. So this is how intense the relationship used to be between husband and wife those days. And that's why for the wife to maintain her life when the husband is gone was totally meaningless. So she felt that let me just go with my husband. And is it possible? Yes. After death, the subtle body actually leaves the body. And the subtle body of the wife can meet the subtle body of the husband and go to the next destination. So here Prabhupada is giving another example that he saw himself. That a doctor died and his wife wanted to go with her husband. And while the husband's body was being taken in a procession, The wife's body also, she is alive, but she is also taken. That means no pressure, no compulsion, she is just voluntarily going with her husband. Prabhupada witnessed it himself. So that is how it used to be, not just some Rakshasa ritual that, because your husband died, now you have to go. Why force in this way? It's voluntary. In Vedic time it was voluntary. Like we can see Kunti and Madri, they're actually they're contesting with each other. Who has the greater right to go with her husband to become a sati? Anyway, Vedic culture is spiritual culture. From material perspective, we won't be able to understand it. In order to understand the Vedic culture, we have to assess it from the spiritual perspective. What will uplift the spirit soul and what will degrade the spirit soul? That is the consideration. They had the clear understanding what's to be done for spiritual advancement, and they would do that. Like nowadays we can see, when the young boys who has very bright future, they become full-time devotees, join the temples. And people consider, why? He is a engineer from such a prestigious college. He has such a nice opportunity to earn so much money. Look what's he doing, wasting his life joining Hare Krishna. But because they think that way, because they don't understand the importance of spiritual life. By earning money, making a lot of money and getting big position and all, for how long will that last? Only as long as we have this body. But then what? Therefore, the first consideration is, are you going to die at some point? Who can say no? And then the consideration is, when we die, does everything end at that time or something continues? So if it continues, how to secure that phase of my life beyond death? An intelligent consideration should be that. What is beyond death? What is going to happen beyond death? Fine, can make a lot of money, enjoy in this world, fine. But then what? So, those who are really intelligent, they can understand the value of spiritual practice. They recognize the value of spiritual life, and therefore they function on that platform with that understanding. Now, those who don't have the understanding of the spiritual reality, they cannot understand that. And they get surprised why they are doing that. There's a boy from Los Angeles. He is from a very, very wealthy family. And they have a big mansion in Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills is the most prestigious area in Los Angeles. And the one part of that thing, so that villa, was his domain. He's my disciple, so I went to their house. I used to know the mother very well. So initially, when he became a devotee. He became a devotee and joined the Los Angeles temple, And the temple atmosphere, like 4 brahmacharis in one room. So his mother came and she was shocked to see how he was living. But he would not go back. Like the mother couldn't understand why he left that opulent, luxurious arrangement at home and he's living here in a small little room, 4 boys staying in one room. Now, of course, later on she actually understood, like, she recognized that, what he has done, and it was the right thing to do. And she was so, she became so kind of, she understood the philosophy or the thing so well that one time this boy wanted to get married. I don't want to mention his name. Many of you know him actually. He wanted to get married. And his mother was upset. Why you want to get married? Like, you have taken to this life. Then I spoke to her. I said, look, if he wants to get married, let him get married. She asked me, will you ever get married? I said, no, because I have taken an order where I can't go back, but he's a young boy, he's a brahmachari. Brahmacharis get married, but sannyasis cannot. They said, if a sannyasi cannot get married, shouldn't get married, then why should a brahmachari get married? That was wonderful. Actually, she was very, very, she understood Krishna consciousness very nicely. So, this is how, like, when you look at it from the material perspective, you can't understand. When you look at it from a spiritual perspective, it becomes clear. So this is what Krishna consciousness is. A devotee understands what's beneficial for his spiritual advancement. In that respect, there is a very nice example given by Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak used to go to, sometimes saintly people are invited, even in rich people's house. So he was invited to a very rich man's house. And he saw in front of the house there are many flags. So he asked, what are these flags for? So then he was told that when this person collects 10,000 gold coins, he puts one flag. You can well imagine how much money he had, so many flags. He didn't say anything. While he was leaving, he told that man, the owner of the house, he gave him a needle. And can you please keep this needle for me? I'll come sometime and collect it from you. So he asked, when will you collect it from me? In my next life. So Guru Nanak said, no, that man said, how am I going to carry this needle to my next life? So Guru Nanak said, oh, you won't be able to carry this needle. How are you going to carry all this gold with you? And he understood, he got the message. And he became his follower. So this is the influence of a association with a saintly person. If we properly accept the advantage of this association, labomatra sadhu sange sarvasiddhi, a moment's association can transform us and take us to the spiritual platform. Sarvasiddhi, achieve ultimate perfection. So that's the bottom line. Nothing will be able to carry after death. In the next life, there is a next life, but we won't be able to carry anything with us. The only thing that will go with us is our attachment to Krishna. Because that is with the spirit soul, and whatever is with the spirit soul will go with the spirit soul. Whatever is belong to the body, we have to leave behind when you leave the body. That reminds me of another example. This is with Jesus. There was a conspiracy. The Jewish priests, they were trying to get Jesus because they saw that Jesus is a threat to their business. In the temple, they were just running their business. And Jesus came and he stopped it all. And so they were trying to get him. So once they thought, at that time, Palestine was under the Roman Empire. So they thought that they'll frame Jesus as a rebel against the king. So they gave him some coins and asked Jesus, whom should we give this coin to? Meaning, who should we pay the tax? So they were expecting that Jesus would say that, don't pay it to the Roman Empire, Roman king, Caesar. And then they would say, well, see, Jesus is provoking everyone to go against the king. And so that was their plan. But what was Jesus' answer? Jesus' answer was, give unto Caesar that belongs to Caesar, and give unto God what belongs to him. Such a beautiful answer. Give unto Caesar what's of Caesar. Give unto God what's of God. So this is the saintly person's advice. We just always go into the spiritual. By the association, we get the understanding of the spiritual reality and the importance of staying in the spiritual path. Okay, some questions. Parameshwari Radhika Devidasi Gurgaon. It's Gurugram, sorry, not Gurgaon anymore. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, as you said that women followed their husband's death by burning themselves as they understood the highest purpose of life. Can you explain that this action and how is it the highest purpose of life? Not highest purpose of life. The thing is that those days the wives used to be so attached to their husband that when the husband died, their world became empty. That's how you feel when you are deeply in love with someone. Like I have experienced it. When Srila Prabhupada left, my world became completely empty. For quite some time it was like that. So that is the thing, like the wives used to be so much in love with the husband that the whole life actually revolved around the husband. And that's why when the husband died, she felt that was the use of my continuing. Better let me also go with him. And they had that faith that they would be able to go with the husband. Because where the attachment is, one goes there. Rama Mohan Das. Okay, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Can you please explain what happened to the residents of earth when earth fell in lower region? And if earth was in lower region, where did Hiranyakashipu and other demons live? Yeah, well, when that happened, we have to understand that there was a total destruction. Everything was... So, everything was finished. Where they lived, there are 14 planetary systems. If one planet goes, there are 13 other planets to be in. 7 lower and another 7 higher. So, the demons are generally in the lower planetary system. So we have to understand that Hiranyaksha was in the lower planetary system, Patala Loka. But the thing is, they had the ability to go anywhere. They could go to the heavenly planet also and fight with the demigods. Okay, so these are the questions from the internet. Any question here? Yes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
It's not working, the mic. Hari Bol. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. I wanted to know why was Saha Marana, why was it like initially glorified and then later, now for example, if you have children, so was it a right approach that you have to give up your life along with your husband when the husband dies?
Why it was glorified those days? Yeah. Because, those days, the understanding was, it's a general understanding that the wife should be completely, committed to her husband. It is considered that it is one person in 2 bodies. The wife, let me finish. The wife is considered to be ardhangini. The half the body of the person is the wife and other half is the husband. And it is because of their love for each other that they, created such bond that when the husband left, the wife felt that it was not worthwhile, because what's the use of my life now? But of course, another thing is, if there were children, then they wouldn't follow the husband unless the children are secured properly. Right, just like with the case of Kunti and Madri. There were consideration of who will take care of the children. And why it is not glorified now is because it became a very brutal practice. The wife, those days it was voluntary. It's voluntarily, it was a part of their chastity, That's how they consider. Chastity means, the attachment, soul attachment to the husband. But when it became a brutal practice, forcibly forcing them, forcibly throwing them in the, funeral pyre, that's why it was rejected. And all right? You're from Goa also? Okay, very good.
No, but actually they say no. If the soul is if somebody is killed before its lifespan, then it has to come again to finish his life again. So if the lady is, it is like suicide only. If anybody commits suicide, then again he has to come to spend that remaining hours, remaining years of life. So here also same thing, no? If the lady goes with husband.
Yeah. Yes, she is coming back with her husband. That's the understanding. I'll come back with my husband. Right? But here, of course, it's a very good point you actually brought up. You see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us another dimension of understanding, pure spiritual understanding. Those days the understanding was that a wife should be solely attached to husband. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us an understanding that a living entity should be solely attached to Krishna. And that is what Krishna displayed in his pastimes. The gopis were not interested in the husband. They were interested in Krishna. Right? So that is the ultimate consideration. But this is a secondary moral consideration, that what was being practiced those days. So for the sake of Krishna, this is the bottom line. Like, the wife is so attached, the perfection of one's chastity is to be completely connected to the husband, right? But that is a materialistic consideration. The greater consideration, higher consideration is the chastity towards Krishna. And for the sake of Krishna, one is prepared to give up everything. All right? You're also from Goa? Oh, you're from High. Okay. Okay. Thank you. When did you come? Oh, Goa group only. Very good. Thank you. Yes. Mohan Govinda Prabhu. Huh? Yeah, Brahmanas also could have more wives. The thing is that, you see, having more wives those days was okay. But in this age it is forbidden. It's not really forbidden, but it's not the, a person cannot maintain even himself. So, another thing is that even with one wife he cannot continue. Right? After some time, husband goes this way, wife goes that way. So, in the age of Kali, everything has become so farcical, Thank you. So I'll end now. Thank you all very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And the group from Goa, I wish you all the best. And I also wish that you'll have a very, very pleasant and fruitful stay here. And you'll be here for how many days? You're leaving today only. What time? In the afternoon. Why did you come for such a short time?
They came 3-4 days back. In between they went to Indore.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm very happy to meet you. And come again. All of you, please come again.